Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. Manchester United have beaten Norwich 2-1 after extra time. Captain Harry Maguire with a crucial goal for the Reds that sends United back into the last four of the FA Cup, and a huge opportunity to get through to a cup final this year in what has been a very weird year, and I'm sure will be a weird semi-final and cup final at an empty Wembley. But it's a place where we do want to be, and we've made sure we're in that hat for the semi-finals, and it didn't quite look like it was going to go United's way today. I was pretty worried watching that game. We made 8 changes before the match, the likes of Romero coming in, Bailly coming in. Who else came in? Odion Ighalo came in, McTominay, Fred came in and got a start, Ighalo, Lingard, Mata. They all got starts today, and it was a huge opportunity for them to tell Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that I want to be in your first team for these Premier League games, but not only that, also say, yo, I need to be playing and get some match fitness, because a lot of these players hadn't played or hadn't started any games since the restarts of football. So not only was it a huge day for match fitness, but a huge day to make a point. Did some of them make a big enough point? I don't think so, and a lot of them will be disappointed with their performances, and that's ruthless because it's your first game back in 3 months. You're out of fitness. There's about 8 games left of the season, including, you add cup games onto that if you keep getting through the cup competitions. It's going to be difficult to get minutes for the remainder of the season. So today was a huge opportunity for some of them, and you look at some of the performances that came, and they probably weren't good enough. You even look at some of the performances that were there from players that have started other games this season or this recommenced season, and they weren't good enough. So it was a performance which was head scratching, but it was also a result which was, and a performance which was, and I say this, it was like watching a Fergie team. And I'll tell you why, because we ended that game and we had Martial, Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, fucking Ighalo. We had all these players on the pitch trying to get a goal. We had about 7 attackers. Now obviously we were against 10 men towards the end of the game. It was in our favour. But Norwich City were always going to try and sit in, defend and get to penalties. They know how good Tim Krul is with penalties. They know Tim Krul has already saved penalties for Martial and Rashford this season. If they went to a penalty shootout, they probably would have been the favourites. 10 men comes out of the equation. Now, the 90 minutes itself, from back to front, let's go. Romero probably should have saved the goal. It was right in the corner, but you still could have got there, you think. It was from a big enough distance. You go through to Odion Ighalo. You could tell he hasn't played in 3 months, and that's a problem. If you want to challenge Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he needs to be performing better, and he wasn't great today for Manchester United. Neither was our other fullback, Luke Shaw, who has been playing. He's got no excuse. I thought Brandon Williams was going to start. Brandon Williams come in from the bench, looked good. I thought Shaw looked good the other day against Sheffield United, but today he was really frustrating. Defensively, he come back, made a covering challenge, got the ball and all that. That's fine. But going forward, where you want him to be doing better, he wasn't quite good enough. He wasn't bombing into those places. There were times where Fred or McTominay would get the ball, look up, look into the space. Luke Shaw would be there with about 20 yards in front of him, and he wouldn't be attacking it. And you're thinking, Luke, what the fuck are you doing? Get in that space. If you just make a move towards that space, the midfielder who's got the ball is going to look to play in that position. If they don't find you, that's their fault, not yours. But make the fucking run, for fuck's sake. We seen you could run to get back, so why can't you run to get forward? And that's a big frustration about that. Now Maguire, Bailly, didn't have much to do. A lot of it was just giving the ball to the midfield and allowing them to continue to attack. I thought Bailly, he showed why, for me, he's one of our best defenders. He should be starting for Manchester United. I thought Bailly looked decent, erratic at times, but decent today considering it's his first start in a while. Harry Maguire came into his own in extra time. A header in extra time which was kept out by Tim Krul. You're hoping that goes in, and you're thinking when Tim Krul saves that, Jesus Christ, this is going to penalties, it's not going to be good. But he did get the goal eventually from a tackle in the box, and it was after a great pass from Pogba to Ighalo. Ighalo tries to get the ball and turn around. Martial's in there trying to pick up the ball from Ighalo. He does get a touch on it, forces the defender to try and kind of clear it. Maguire's in there to tackle, and he tackles the ball, shoots the ball into the back of the net, and United are through with about a couple of minutes to go. It was a captain's goal for Manchester United from Harry Maguire, and it was a captain's performance from him. He did what he had to do, and in the second half of extra time, when we needed to go and chase that goal, he was a big presence in the box as well, which is what we needed. In midfield, you had Fred and McTominay, and I thought they didn't do enough today. There was glimpses, passes, and tackles in certain moments where you looked at and you thought, yeah, that's McTominay at his best, or yeah, that's Fred at his best, but they didn't do it for the full 90 minutes. Now, some will say, yo, that's because they haven't played many games, and that's fine, that's cool, but I'm just pointing out what happened in these 90 minutes. And I thought, if you want to be starting in this team, you're looking at Matic's performance, Bruno, Pogba's performance in the game against Sheffield, you have to be performing better. And if I was Ollie, neither of them would be starting in that game. So you want to see a reaction from them in the next game or the next opportunity that they do get. Ahead of that, it was Mata and Lingard. And I thought Mata, too quiet, didn't do enough. Lingard started, I thought the first 10-15 minutes he was our best player. After that, I can't really remember him doing anything, and that's a problem. Now, he's been ill. He's had it, he's been out for 3 months, first start. Same with Mata, first start in 3 months. But, the room for excuses is going now at Manchester United. The squad's getting better. The results are getting better. The team's getting better. And if we sign more players in the summer, Mata, Lingard, you boys are going to be scrapping and scraping for a fight for your spot. Same with Andreas Pereira. So when you get these chances, you have to do better with them. And they didn't do well today. They didn't do well at all. And, Ighalo played as well for United. And I thought he was our best player. He scored a goal for us. He got the goal that got it 1-0. And then he got, the piece of action. He got brought down for the sending off from closer. And I thought Odion Ighalo was fantastic today with what he had to do. He didn't have much to do. There wasn't much delivery. There was one opportunity where we flashed the ball past the box, and you're thinking, oh, he might get in on that, but he didn't quite get there. And I just thought, wasn't quite at the races today. Bruno too, not quite at the races, didn't quite do it, and was wasting a lot. But that's going to happen when they have a bad day. The likes of Bruno, the likes of Pogba, it's going to look really bad. Because every pass they're going to make is not going to be completed. Everything they try and do is not going to be completed. Whereas, as long as they do the basics, you can kind of take for that. Where that's what Bruno was doing. He was getting back. He was tracking back. He was making sure he was getting involved. And you can take that when, if things ain't quite going right in the final third. As long as you're doing that, but I'm worried for him because he played 120 minutes today. He's played every single game since we've been back. Is he going to be available for that Brighton game? Should we have taken him off early? That's a question you'll have to ask Ollie, but I thought he maybe could have come off a little bit earlier than that, and he didn't. Ighalo, though, probably the best player that started for us today. When we made the substitutions and you saw the likes of Pogba come on, I thought he was excellent when he came on. Martial looked sharp, looked good when he came on, looked confident. Rashford, Greenwood. You've seen these players come on and you were positive and you're confident. Brandon Williams. But I felt the substitutions came too late, and that was probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. But that's to be spoilt. When you sit back ultimately and you look at the end of the day, we got the win 2-1 after extra time, albeit, and with a red card. Okay, question marks there. And I think it's a fair question to say, when we take our best players out of the team, is the system good enough? Maybe we have to do something else to break down these teams, and that's something that Ollie would have to work at. But we rested today, we changed the team, we made 8 changes, we had a lot of players rested, we've got a game in a couple of days' time, we got like a 48, 72 hour crossover between games. We've managed to keep the likes of Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Pogba on the bench for most of the game, and we can now move forward and look, we're in the hat for the semi-final. That's all that matters. Now, there's some tricky teams left in this tournament. You got Sheffield United, Arsenal, Newcastle, Man City, Chelsea, Leicester, who are playing in the remainder of the semi-finals. It's going to be a difficult, quarterfinals. It's going to be a difficult semi-finals. So we need to make sure we're at it. But today was satisfactory. It wasn't a good performance, but it was a very good result. We're through to the semi-final, but we beat a team that are relegation fodder. And that has to ring some question marks through for the players that started today, because yous lot have to be at it. And if you're not at it, we could have suffered today. could have suffered, but we didn't. So through the remainder of this season and remainder of this cup, hopefully that serves as a reminder that, you know, fix up a little bit, but we're through. You're in the hat. That's all you can ask for. And when you looked at the team at the end of it, like I said, you know, it reminded me of watching a Fergie team. We just chucked all the strikers out there, thought go for it, and we got the win. And that's all that matters at the end of the day in the FA Cup. So I'm happy with that. Want to see improvement against Brighton. We probably won't see Bruno against Brighton, and you know that's a bit of a bother. But he strikes me as someone like Rooney as well that just want to play every single game. Man of the match was few and far between, but I'd go Odion Ighalo. Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments below. Thanks to those that watched the watch along today, watched the fan cams today. Make sure you're keeping it like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back for the Aftermath live tomorrow. And for now, I've been AdamMcKola. You lot have been legends. United have beaten Norwich 2-1. And we're through to the semi-finals. Que sera, sera.